Hey now, it's the Rob from 1061 Kiss FM, and I'm here with another video game review, and this game has taken up a huge part of my life. I think I'm finally finished with it. I'm here to review Pokemon Omega Red and Alpha Sapphire. Now, I am previously not a big Pokemon fan. I had played the first games, the red and blue ones on the original Game Boy when I was in high school, when I was like 16 years old. But it had been probably a good 15 years since I'd ever really played a Pokemon game. And I'm glad that I had picked this one up. I got it actually for Christmas from a buddy of mine. And this game was much, much better than I was expecting. And I never would have thought that at 31 years old, I would have plunked 65 hours into a Pokemon game, but I did. This game was a remake, from what I learned, of a Game Boy Advance game called Pokemon Omega Red. Or no, it was actually called Pokemon, I guess it was Red and Sapphire were the original ones on the Game Boy Advance. I did not play those games. This game took those sensibilities of those old Pokemon games and put it onto a modern environment. For example, the visuals were not always 3D on the 3DS, but there were certain times where they were. They used a cel-shaded animation style, which I appreciated in the battle sequences. But when you were playing around just walking on the overworld map, it looked kind of like a Super Nintendo game, which is not a complaint. If not even better than that. On the bottom screen, though, because the 3DS has two screens, this is where the game was really able to shine and where I really appreciated it, because it would kind of show you a glimpse of the world you're in, like almost like zooming out of the top screen, and it would show you which Pokemon are in the area and which ones you've captured, and it's only the ones that you know about, only the ones that you've encountered before. So you know, you almost have like a checklist of where the Pokemon are, which I liked. The bottom screen was the biggest step forward in this series of any Pokemon game. That to me made this game so much more playable, enjoyable, and it made things a lot easier to enjoy, because I knew about how much work I had to do in each area, and it would let me know when I had all of them in an area, which is kind of like the subtitle of the game, at least it used to be, gotta catch them all. Now that also came with a downfall, because I thought that there were too many in this game. There were over 200, and the number actually keeps growing because they keep releasing ones with like special codes. So I think they're up to like, I don't know, 225 maybe. I don't know the number, I'm just eyeballing, but the first games on the Game Boy had 150. And that number seems about right to me. If not, that's a little high. So I don't need the old numbers. In fact, I even missed. I would have assumed that they just kept adding on, but a lot of I never saw Bulbasaur. I never saw Squirtle. Where were you guys? Where were you, Squirtle? Pikachu was there, and some of the other ones like Geodude that I remember from the original games. But a lot of them were new, and that was another thing I did not appreciate about the game. I wish it had the old cast of characters, and pretty much just them. I didn't need a whole lot of new guys. For a game that you need a partner with the other color game, with the Alpha Sapphire game, I was playing Omega Ruby. I didn't need to get 100% completion, but just finishing the storyline mode was enough to put in 65 hours. There was even a bonus quest after the credits that wasn't in the original game, that was exclusive to the 3DS, that I also passed on because I was ready to be done with this one. But 65 hours and so much fun. It did not feel like that. None of that. This was inside just like a few weeks, like maybe 4. So I have to give Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire 2 thumbs up. You don't need both games. They're largely the same game. They have little tiny differences into which makes one unique. The best bet is to get one and tell your friend to get a different color. That's about it for Pokemon. It's definitely, I'd be surprised if any other game in the franchise is better than their latest outing. 2 thumbs up from me. If you have a 3DS, you'd be doing yourself a disservice not to play Pokemon Omega Red and Alpha Sapphire.